Happy Core Stability Wednesday. Once again, everybody, this is Katie. Reminder to listen to your bodies today. Definitely keep some water nearby. Air purifier if you're in somewhere that's got some bad air quality right now. And listen to your body, take breaks as you need, and ask for adaptations as you need. Let's get warmed up because it's freezing in this room today. So we're gonna find our space and we'll just start to walk the space of our mat or our room that we're using today. Getting familiarized with what we're working with. Making sure we have lots of room. We'll be doing all sorts of positioning with our body today, whether it's high planks or we're lying down or we're standing. Just make sure you have a lot of room and you're in a nice, open, safe space. And let's start to walk on our toes. Get some of those small foot ankle muscles activated. And let's walk on our heels. All right, and go ahead and find the center of your space. And we're gonna do some great big arm circles, starting with forward arm circles. So we're reaching the arms nice and high, down to the floor, back behind us, and in front of us. Keeping the circles nice and wide, nice and large. Good, and let's start to make every circle a little bit smaller with every rotation. So we get to about dinner plate size. And then maybe we get to that tennis ball size. And then we can drop our arms down and shake them out. And then we'll reverse those arm circles nice and large once again. Now we're taking them back behind us.
One at a time.
And if it's uncomfortable to do two at the same time, you can always do one arm at a time. Kind of like you're doing a backstroke if you are familiar with swimming strokes. And let's start to make those rotations a little bit smaller every time. So we have that dinner plate, tennis ball, and let your arms fall. Amazing. Let's get our hands on our hips for some upright marches. So I'm going to drive my right knee up towards my chest, flexing the right foot. And I'm going to place the foot back down and repeat on the left side, left knee to chest and back down. Just some standing stationary marches. Starting to get those hip flexors firing, active. Maybe a little bit of the lower ab. Great, and if you want to add some arm movement, you can do some runner's arms, where your arms are at 90-degree angles, and you're just punching the opposite fist forward of the knee you're driving up. So if it's right knee up, it's left arm up, and vice versa. And let's go ahead and switch into some glute kicks. So now I'm taking my right heel towards my right glutes. Gonna place the foot back down and repeat on the left side. So glute kicks. Just bending at the knees, still standing upright. Getting the hamstrings to fire as we flex the leg. Few more here, keep kicking. You can always keep the arms moving if you want, any way you want. And 3, 2, 1. Let's get both feet back underneath the hips and let's step them out nice and wide for those windmill toe touches. So a nice wide standing position, feet are 1 to 2 steps outside of the hips, toes are forward and slightly outward. We're gonna extend both arms out to the sides, about shoulder height. We're gonna hinge at the waist as we reach our right hand towards our left ankle. Come back up to center and switch, reaching left hand to right ankle. And just continuing to alternate that movement. Warming up the posterior chain. We'll do lots of hinging and kind of some leg work today. Not too much though. Good, keep it going. Just a few more. These windmill toe touches. Making sure we're hinging properly, really pushing the hips back as we reach down. Always trying to avoid that rounding of the back. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and let your arms back down. You can step the feet back underneath the hips. And we're going to do some of our inchworm walkouts now. So go ahead and keep the feet planted under the hips. We're going to drop the hands down towards the floor like we're doing a forward fold stretch. And then when you're ready, we'll get the hands all the way flat on the floor, and we're gently going to walk our hands away from our feet, extending our body to that high plank position. I got a little bit of feedback coming, so make sure we're muted. All right. Once we've gotten out to that high plank position, or kind of a down dog, you can walk your hands back towards your feet and go back to that forward fold stretch. And just repeat those inchworm walkouts. Taking them nice and slow. We don't want to sway side to side. We want to be able to squeeze our abs, squeeze our glutes as we walk out into that extended position of the body. Trying to keep our hips and chest parallel to the floor. Keep it going here. Let's get maybe one more rep in you. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and finish the rep you're on. And then you can come back to upright standing. And we're going to get into some standing bird dogs next. So let's get nice, comfortable, neutral standing position. Feet under hips, toes are forward. And then I want you to take a slight hinge in your waist. So that hinge we talked about, we're just going to push the hips back slightly, keeping them kind of at the same level that they're at. Slight bend in both knees. And from here, I'm going to raise my right arm up overhead, over the shoulder, slightly in front of the shoulder. As I do that, I'm going to take my left leg, flex the left foot, and just gently kick it back behind me like a glute kick. I'm not kicking super high, just about maybe a foot or half a foot off of the floor. And then I'm going to bring right arm, left leg back in and switch to the other side. So I'm going to raise my left arm up, glute kick the right leg back, and just continue to repeat those standing bird dogs. I'm going to take them nice and slow as we're alternating warm-up exercise, balance exercise. You can really feel that standing leg, the foot and ankle kind of wiggle wobble. That's good. That means they're working. Still alternating here, nice and slow. We are going to hold that extended position with the right arm and left leg in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get right arm up, left leg back. And I just want you to hold. If you need to tap your toes to the floor to reset your body, you can do that. That single leg hold with that right leg. In 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring the leg and arm back in. You can shake and shimmy it out if you need to. And when you're ready, we'll go back into those alternating standing bird dogs. Just kicking back right and left sides. And we're going to hold on the other side here shortly. So making sure we're prepared. We always have that support source nearby if we need it for these balance exercises. All right, we're going to go left arm up, right leg back in 3, 2, 1. Let's raise that left arm up, kick the right leg back and hold. Remember, you can always tap that toe if you need a little bit of a reset. And 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring arm and leg back in. You can come out of that hinged position. And we're gonna do some calf raises next. So go ahead and keep the feet under the hips, toes forward. You can go hands on your hips or on that support source nearby. We're doing double leg calf raises. So when you're ready, go ahead and bring both heels off of the floor, pushing up and off of the balls of your feet. So we're in that high extended position with the calf raise, squeezing the calves at the top. Then we'll just gently lower the heels back towards the floor. We might let our feet rest, or we can let them hover if we want to keep that tension in the muscle. And repeat, just pushing off once again. Nice, slow calf raises. Great for the balance. A little bit of strength. As I always say, my calves are kind of weak, so these are always really hard for me. Keep it going. We'll get a few more reps in. Really make sure we're trying to do these as slow as we can. Challenge the balance. So it might be a 2-second count up, 2-second count down. It's really common to want to just boing, boing, like you're jumping almost, but try to take it nice and slow. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Give yourself a rest. Give the calves a little rest. If you need to shake, shimmy out the legs, you can do that as well. We have just a couple more standing exercises here. It's going to be those lateral leg raises. So from this neutral standing position, we want to keep ourselves as upright as possible. We're going to go right leg first. Taking a slight bend in both knees, we're going to flex the right foot, hover it off of the floor, and then we're just going to raise that right leg out to the right. So we're only raising the foot maybe about a foot, half a foot off of the floor when we kick it out to the side. And then we'll bring it back in to that starting position and repeat. So kicking outward, back in, out, in. Remember to keep that slight bend in both knees. Keeping ourselves standing as upright as we can. It's going to be really common and easy to lean to the left. So try to squeeze the abs and keep yourself centered. As we do those right side lateral leg raises, working the outer thighs, outer glutes, core, and balance muscles in the foot and ankle complex of the left leg. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that right foot back in. You can shake, shimmy out the hips if you'd like. And we're going to switch over to that left side, left leg lateral raises. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. We're taking that slight bend in both knees and flexing the left foot as we raise the left leg out to the side. Keeping it in line with our right leg as we bring it back in and kick it back out. Balance, strength, and core. Remember, if you need to reset your body because you're leaning really far to the right, go ahead and do so. Squeeze the abs. We don't need to raise that leg super high. Pretty minimal movement with maximum gain. Nice job, we're almost there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring that left leg back in. Shake and shimmy out the hips. We're going to prepare to get down to the mat. So let's get down to the mat in a tabletop position. So my hands are on the floor, fingertips are nice and wide. My wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all stacked. My knees are underneath my hips, feet are trailing behind my knees, and my back is nice and flat. My pelvis is neutral. It's not in that cat, it's not in that cow, it's right in the middle. And we're gonna go into some bird dog crunches. So when you're ready, we'll extend the right arm forward and we'll straighten the left leg back behind us. So we're in that extended position. And then I'm gonna bring my right elbow to meet my left knee underneath my abs or my belly button, crunching the abs when I do this. And then I'm gonna extend back out again. And then I'll place the right hand, left knee back down to that starting position in the tabletop. And repeat with the left arm, right leg. So extend, elbow to knee, extend, and a knee back down, switch to the other side. Alternating bird dog crunches. Remember, we're keeping our nose towards the floor. Our chest and hips will stay parallel to the floor. We're breathing as we move through the exercise. Really emphasize that crunching of the abs when you come together with that elbow to knee. All right, keeping it going for a few reps here. And we're gonna go into our first hold and pulse shortly here. And it's gonna be the right arm, left leg. So let's get a couple more reps in, get our body centered. And when you're ready, let's raise that right arm forward, left leg back, holding in that extended position. And if you wanna add a little pulse, a little up and down movement of the limbs, go ahead and do so. Keep the nose towards the floor, keep the abs squeezed. You got it. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring that left knee, right hand back down. You can cat-cow it out if you need to. When you're ready, you can go back into those alternating bird dog crunches. And we're gonna hit that other side with a hold. In about 5 seconds, we're gonna raise left arm, right leg. 3, 2, 1. Let's extend left arm forward, right leg back, holding, squeezing the abs, and add that pulse if you want, that little up-down movement. You got this. Breathe, but keep everything squeezed. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring that left hand, right knee back in. You can cat-cow, wag it out. Next, we're going to go into some of our bear holds, some of our down dog to bear hold exercises. So we're in that tabletop position to start. I want you to tuck the toes underneath both feet, and you might walk the knees back a little bit away, further away from your hands, maybe a little bit further back from the hips. Once you get to that positioning, we'll go ahead and push our bodies up into a downward dog position. So knees come off of the floor. We raise the hips up towards the sky and push back into our heels. There's that down dog. You can hold this for as long as you'd like. Before we shift our body back forward, lower the knees back towards the floor to hover them in that floating tabletop or bear hold. And then we'll push back up to down dog. That's your recovery position. And down to floating tabletop bear hold work position. So go ahead and alternate between those two movements. Keeping the fingertips nice and wide, keeping the abs squeezed throughout the entirety of the motion. And breathe. We're just hovering the knees. We're not letting them come all the way down. Keeping that tension throughout the body, throughout the core. A few more reps. You got this. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and let the knees come all the way back down so you're in that tabletop. And let's bring the hands off of the floor and come to a kneeling position. Just take a little rest on the wrists. We're going to do some of our kneeling good mornings just to refresh, get the glutes to fire a little bit before we keep working. So you can cross the arms in front of the chest if you'd like, or you can interlace the fingers behind the head. Elbows go wide, whichever you choose. From there, once you have that positioning, your upright positioning, we're going to hinge the hips back like we're going to touch the wall behind us, still keeping the back nice and flat. Nose and chest will come almost parallel to the floor. And then we're gonna squeeze those glutes, fire the glutes as we push the hips back forward and back to that upright kneeling position. So go ahead and just do these nice and slow. If you did yesterday's workout, you might feel it a little bit in the glutes and hamstrings. So just make sure we're doing those proper hinging. You have someone holding a dowel rod and it's touching your back of your head, between your shoulder blades and your hips. We're just keeping all of that alignment of your spine as you're hinging. And we're breathing. I like to exhale when I push my hips forward, squeeze the glutes. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to upright kneeling if you haven't already. We're going to lower the hands back to the floor in that tabletop, and we're going to do some nice slow mountain climbers. So to get there, fingertips are nice and wide, and then we're going to extend both legs back behind us straight. So we're on the balls of our feet in our hands. So we're in a high plank position right now. Abs are squeezed. From here, I'm going to drive my right knee towards my chest, keeping the left leg straight behind me. Then I'm going to bring the right leg back to that starting position and switch left knee to chest and back to high plank. So nice, slow mountain climbers. We won't do these very long. You got this. You can also just hold that high plank. Driving right knee, driving left knee. You got this. 10 more seconds. Squeeze those abs. Push away from your palms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring the knees down. Let yourself rest. And our last kind of challenge in this position here. Let's come down to our forearms for some plank hip dips. So now we're doing that low plank positioning. You can always do a high plank if it's a little tougher on your shoulders to do a low plank. If you're doing a low plank, go ahead and come down to your elbows. Let your forearms trail in front of your elbows, keeping the arms at a 90-degree angle. From here, we're going to do that same thing, extending both legs back behind us, keeping our body as flat as possible, squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes. Low plank hold. Option to stay here, or you can add some hip dips. So we'll dip the hips down to the right, keeping our feet planted. Hips will dip down to the right. Come back to center and dip down to the left and center. So we're holding, or we've added those dips. Keeping the abs and glutes squeezed. You got this. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Whew. You can let your body come all the way down to the floor in a lying position, lying on our bellies. If you need to grab a drink of water, go ahead and do so. All right, so we've come down here on our bellies, taking a little bit of a rest, but not too much. We're going to do some Superman's exercises next, but we're going to start with kind of a bird dog variation of it. So I want you to make sure your nose is towards the floor, your pelvis is planted on the floor, and your rib cage. From here, I'm going to have you hover, both arms are extended out in front of you like we're flying through the air. Both arms are out in front of the shoulders, both legs are extended long back behind us. From here, I want you to just hover and raise your left arm off the floor and your right leg. So you're kind of squeezing that right glute to raise the right leg up off of the floor. And then we'll let both come back down and rest and switch to the opposite side. So left leg raises, right arm raises, and goes back down. So go ahead and alternate right and left sides. Kind of a contralateral, half Superman, Superwoman. Nice job. We'll keep breathing. Keeping the nose towards the floor. All right, and let's get both arms and legs back down. Take a quick rest, wag out the hips if you need to. And we're gonna do into that double hold next. So raising arms, both arms and both legs off the floor. And we're gonna do some swimmer arms as we do the hold, okay? So when you're ready, go ahead and get up. So we're raising arms and legs off the floor. Pelvis and lower rib cage stay planted on the floor. And we're holding, squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes. And then we can take our arms, palms face the floor, and we're just gonna wave them out to the sides and then down by our sides and back up out in front of us. So keeping the palms down the whole time, kind of like we're swimming in the water. But keep holding, squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes, nose towards the floor. 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Whew. Take a rest. Let yourself relax. And let's roll over onto our left side. So now we're on our left side. I want you to bring both knees to about, or both legs to about a 90-degree angle and stack your right knee over your left knee. So right leg is on top, both legs are at a 90-degree angle. We're setting up for clamshells. So if you are familiar with the exercise, go ahead and get there and start those clamshells. If not, we're stacking our ankles, knees, and hips. My left elbow is planted under my left shoulder. I'm kind of bracing that upper body and going into some clamshell exercises. My right hand will be on my right hip. And I'm gonna open that right knee up away from the left knee, not too far to where I'm rolling onto my back. I wanna keep the hips square, keep the hips stacked, raising the right knee up and then lowering it back down to hover over the left knee and repeating. Clamshell exercise. That right hand on the hip is kind of an indicator to make sure my hips stay stacked. They're not opening up and letting my lower back work. They're making sure the work stays focused in that glute min, outer thigh region. Nice work. Few more clamshells here. And on the next rep, go ahead and rest, and we'll lie ourselves fully onto our side. So I've let my left arm come completely flat to the ground. My upper body is flat to the ground. I'm kind of using my left bicep as a pillow for my head or my left ear. And I'm going to extend the top leg or right leg straight, still keeping the hips stacked. From here, I'm going to flex the right foot, and then I'm going to begin to raise that leg up to about hip height and lower it back down to the ground, tapping the foot and raising. So some lying lateral leg raises. Not needing to go super high with the leg, really only that hip height is necessary. This is your reminder to engage your abs, to keep your body stable as you move the limbs. And let's go ahead and hold the leg at hip height. Just holding there, squeezing the abs. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring that right leg. You can fold it once again to rest on top of the left leg at that 90-degree angle. And we're going to do some side crunches, some right side or oblique crunches next. So I'll have you take your right arm, bring your right hand behind your head. Right elbow will go towards the ceiling. And then from here, I'm going to crunch my side, bring my elbow towards my hip. So I'm just really squeezing that area between my hip and shoulders. Squeezing there when my elbow comes up, and then going back down to that starting position and repeating. So side crunch or oblique crunch. Keeping the legs stacked. Just focusing on that side region. You can really feel how it'll tighten up when we crunch up. And bring that elbow towards the hip. Nice work. Keep on breathing. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You can let yourself back down to rest. And we're gonna hit a side plank on this right side. Like I've said before, these are my least favorite, but we gotta do them because you gotta have variation in exercise. So let's prepare for the side plank. There's many variations to add to this if we need. But we'll start by getting our left elbow underneath our left shoulder, left forearm trails in front of the elbow. So easiest level to doing this, we'll keep the knees stacked where they're at. And you're just gonna raise the hips while keeping both knees stacked. That's kind of that easiest variation. Second variation, you're gonna straighten that top right leg, keep the left knee planted where it's at, and raise up that way. And hardest variation is gonna be extending both legs straight, raising the hips off the floor and the legs and hovering. So that's the 3 different kind of ways to do your side plank. So go ahead and find the position that works for you. And feel free to try something new too if you'd like. So making sure elbows under shoulder, we're pushing away from that elbow to engage the shoulder. We're squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes. When you're ready, go ahead and raise the hips off of the floor, holding that side plank. Breathing, keeping the chest and nose forward. Hips stacked. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. Nice job. Oh, side planks are so hard. But I do challenge you to always think about the glutes when you're doing planks, and you might find it makes it a little easier. All right, let's get around to our left side because we got to stay balanced and even here. So starting with those clamshells, let's set up for success. We're on our left side, left elbows planted under the left shoulder. Legs are at that 90-degree angle, stacked on top of each other. Left ankle, knee, and hip are on top of the top leg. When you're ready, left hand goes on left hip, and then we're gonna open the left knee away from the right knee and close and open. Clamshells. Now working the outer left thigh, left glutes. Remember, we don't want to open too wide and roll onto our backs. We're going to keep the hips stacked and square straight ahead of us, along with our chest and nose. Nice job. Keep breathing. All right, just a few more reps here, and then we're gonna lie flat. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let's bring ourselves all the way flat to the floor with that upper body, using the right bicep as a pillow. We're gonna straighten the top left leg, flex the left foot. And then from here, we're going to raise the leg up about hip height, maybe slightly higher than the hip. And then we'll tap the foot down and repeat. From lying, lateral leg raises, left side. You can keep that left hand on the left hip just to gauge, make sure your hips are staying stacked. And let's go ahead and hold that leg up at hip height. Squeeze the abs, breathe. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You can bring that left leg back in. Take a quick rest. Grab a quick drink if you need. Otherwise, we're going to transition into those side crunches on the left side now. So when you're ready, take that left hand, place it behind your head. Left elbow will go up towards the ceiling or to the wall, kind of over our head. And then we're going to bring left elbow angled towards our hips, squeezing the sides, the obliques, those kind of outer left abs, coming back down and back up. So side crunch. Just trying to drive that left elbow towards the hip, squeezing everything between there. And breathing. Nice job. Keep it going. Really emphasizing that squeeze. If you were to take your right hand and poke in between that right hip and shoulder and rib cage, you'll feel that engagement happening in the muscles. A few more reps here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. You can take a rest from those side crunches, and let's get back to that side plank positioning now on the, I guess technically the right side. So we'll get the right elbow under the right shoulder. We can stack the knees once again in that 90-degree angle if we'd like, or we can do top leg straight, or we can do both legs straight. So however you want to do your side plank today, just make sure we're being safe. We're listening to our bodies. Once you have your positioning ready to go, go ahead and engage the shoulder by pushing away from your elbow. And then we're going to raise the hips up, beginning that side plank. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze those abs, keep the chest and nose forward. Keep the hips stacked. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Give yourself a rest. Ooh. Side planks. All right, y'all, let's get on to our backs, where we're going to finish our workouts today. So coming onto our backs, we're going to set up for dead bugs for that first back position. So I'm lying flat on my back, letting my head rest. I'm going to bring both feet off of the floor. Both knees are over the hips. Shins are parallel to the ceiling. And then I'm going to extend both arms up to the ceiling from the shoulder. So starting dead bug position. When you're ready, you're going to drop that left arm down to hover over the floor, as well as the right leg. Remember, we have that pin through our belly button, keeping our backs nice and flat to the floor. Then I'm going to pull that arm and leg back in and switch to the other side. So dropping left leg, right arm, squeezing the abs, pull it back together. Let's go ahead and alternate nice and slow. Dead bugs. One of the best exercises you can do for your body. It's that full body engagement. Easy on the joints. If we're starting to feel that lower back arch, don't lower your hands as far to the floor. Just let them drop a little bit less. All right, we're gonna have a hold coming up. It's gonna be that left arm, right leg. So go ahead and reset yourself if you need to. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's start to drop the left arm and right leg super slow. Slow motion, still dropping, still dropping, still dropping. And once you get to that lowest possible position, we're holding. You can add a little pulse if you want. Squeeze those abs. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, pull it all back in. You can hug the knees to the chest and rock it out side to side if you need to. Or you can go back into those reps, dead bug reps. We're gonna hold on the other side coming up soon. All right, next hold with the right arm, left leg. In 5, remember, we're gonna have that slow motion drop. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, begin to drop that left leg, right arm. Going down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold at that lowest positioning. You can add a pulse if you want. Make sure those abs are squeezed. Make sure that back is flat. 10 seconds, you got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and pull it all back in. Whew. And you can let your feet drop to the floor, knees to the ceiling. We're gonna wash that out with some upper ab crunches. So feet are flat, knees are up. You can interlace the fingers behind your head, elbows wide if you'd like. Or you can cross the arms in front of the chest if that's a little more comfortable on your shoulders. We're doing those upper ab crunches. So I just want you to focus on raising head, neck, shoulders, upper back off of the floor, taking the nose towards your thighs, squeezing those abs, crunching them together as you come up. And then we'll lower back down and repeat. Upper ab crunches. Once again, holding the tempo, taking them nice and slow, up and down. Fueling your body with air, taking breaths. I like to exhale when I crunch, inhale when I extend. Good, and we're gonna progress this to a cross crunch. So I'm going to raise my left foot off the ground, drive my left knee towards my chest, and I'm gonna meet my left knee with my right elbow over my abs. Okay, and then I'm gonna put left foot back down and repeat with the right knee, left elbow, and back down. So cross crunches. Now engaging a little bit of those obliques as we drive opposite knee to opposite elbow. Keep on breathing. Abs are starting to feel some fatigue, especially those upper ones. Nice job. A few more breaths here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Let yourself rest. You can keep the knees up. And let's get both arms down by our sides, getting ready for a glute bridge hold. All right, so arms are down by our sides, feet are flat and slightly outside of the hips. When you're ready, go ahead and squeeze those glutes and extend the hips towards the ceiling, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the abs, and we're just gonna hold this bridge here. Holding in that extended position, we're pushing through the heels and the shoulders. And add a little pulse if you want. A little up and down movement while we hold the top of the bridge. You got it. All right, now we're gonna pause that pulse. We're still holding the bridge. And I want you to take your knees out and in, out and in. Kind of an abduction, adduction while you hold the bridge. Long bridge hold here, you got it. Re-engage the abs if you forgot about them. Almost there, 10 more seconds. You can do this. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and lower the hips. Take a quick rest. And we're going to go into some reverse crunches next. So you can keep your arms down by your sides, palms facing the floor. And we're going to extend both legs up towards the ceiling, over the hips, maybe slightly in front of the hips. So you can kind of swing that lower back off the floor. So reverse crunch, we're going to drop both legs down towards the floor. And then we're going to swing them up over the hips. We're going to raise the lower back and hips off of the floor when we swing the legs up. And then we're going to drop them back down and repeat. So reverse crunches. You can keep a slight bend in the legs. You need it to be a little bit less resistance. The straighter your legs are, the more difficult it'll be. So we'll just tap over the legs. You might tap the heel or upswing the legs. Working those lower abs. You can always bring your forearms underneath your hips if you need a little extra support. You got this. Few more reps, reverse crunches. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Let your feet fall flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. And let's wash it out with some windshield wipers. We'll drop both knees down to the left, squeezing the abs, making sure our spine is stable. Come back to center and drop the knees down to the right. A little bit of oblique work. All right. And let's get both legs extended back up towards the ceiling for some legs up crunches. So both legs are up towards the ceiling over the hips. I'm going to extend both arms up to the ceiling from the shoulders. And then I'm going to drop the fingertips to kind of point towards my ankles. So once I'm here in this starting positioning, then I'm going to raise head, neck, shoulders, upper back off of the floor, reaching my fingertips towards my ankles, squeezing, crunching the abs. I'm going to lower back down and repeat. So legs up crunches. Keep on breathing. Big exhales as we crunch. We're almost there. Finish line's in sight. And let's keep the same upward crunch motion, but let's take both hands to the outside of our left ankle, come back down, and then outside of our right ankle, back down. Kind of some side to side, upper legs up crunches. Getting a little more oblique action in there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You can let the legs down and go ahead and sit yourself to a seated position. Or bring yourself to a seated position. We're going to prepare for a boat hold, our last isometric exercise of the day. So we are seated, hips are in the floor, my heels are planted, my knees are off the ground. From here, I'm going to extend my arms forward in front of the shoulders, fingertips facing the wall in front of me. And knees are still bent, kind of my knees are between my elbows almost. And then I'm going to slightly lean myself back, and I'm going to bring my feet off of the floor, keeping the knees bent, holding that boat pose. My only thing planted in the floor right now is the hips. You can keep the knees bent, or you can straighten the legs if you're looking for more challenge. Whew, I don't know if I have that in me yet, but keep the arms tight to the legs. Don't let them rest though. Everything's hovering. Point the toes. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Whew. Go ahead and let yourself relax. You can roll onto your back. We're going to cool it down. So let's start. Let's do a nice full body lying twist. I'm going to extend both legs out long. Both arms are down by my sides to start. And then I'm going to take my right knee and bring it up towards my chest to give it a big hug. We'll start with that kind of knee hug stretch first. You can roll out the ankle if you'd like. We did some balance today, so some clockwise ankle circles, counterclockwise. And then I want you to take your right knee and cross it over your body to the left side. As you do that, I want you to extend your right arm out from the shoulder to the right, and then take your nose to face your right hand. Lying full body twist. Your left hand can be on the outside of your right knee to kind of support. Help you hold the twist. Feeling our heart rate come back down. And let's go ahead and roll back to center onto our backs. We can release that right leg back out straight and long. And then we'll bring the left knee up into the chest, giving the left knee a big hug. Rolling out the left ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. And let's drop that left knee over to the right as we extend the left arm out to the left about from the shoulder and take our nose to face our left hand. And let's roll back to center. We can release that left leg back out long. And then let's bring both knees up into our chest, give them a big hug, and then let's just rock left to right, kind of massage out the lower back. And let's release the legs, let them go back out long. And let's slowly raise ourselves up to upright seated with the legs still long in front of us for a forward fold stretch. So we'll go ahead and inhale, reach the arms nice and high. And then we're going to exhale, folding forward, reaching the hands towards the feet, stretching the entire back side of the leg. Seated, forward fold. Taking some nice deep breaths as we recover. And let's bring the hands back towards our body, rolling our spine up one vertebrae at a time. We're back to that upright seated, and then we're going to go into that Barbie on the beach stretch. So we'll bring our right knee up into our chest. You can hold it here if that's comfortable, or you can step the right foot over the left knee or thigh. We're going to hook that right knee into the chest with the left elbow. Then we're going to take the right hand behind our backs and turn our chest slightly to the right. Feeling a nice stretch in that outer right glute region. And let's go ahead and come back to center. We can release the right leg back out and switch to the left. Bring left knee up into the chest. Stepping left foot over right knee or right thigh. Hooking the left knee into the chest with the right elbow. Left hand behind the back. Slight twist of the chest and nose to the left. Great stretch for those outer glutes. And you can go back to center, release that left leg. And last but certainly not least, give yourselves a pat on the back. Way to show up today. I hope you had fun.